What's your feeling about this latest, what appears to be another indiscretion?
I mean, people at home must be getting really sick of this. This is, we had all the parties around Christmas, and now this alleged event on the 20th of May, which is 60 days into the lockdown. We should remind ourselves what the rules were. People were allowed to meet one other person from outside their household, as long as it was an outdoor public space and 2 metre social distancing was maintained. Friends and family were not allowed to go into each other's gardens. And we haven't even introduced COVID support bubbles at that stage. And to hear that 100 people were invited by email by a member of the Prime Minister's staff to come to the Downing Street garden, which admittedly is somebody's home, but those 100 people didn't all live in that home. They worked there, but they didn't live there. People must be absolutely appalled.
Several polls, all of them saying, well, over 50% in most of them, saying the Prime Minister should resign. Do you think he should?
I mean, you're asking a Labour MP whether
yes.
a Conservative Prime Minister should resign every day of the week. I think the Conservatives should resign and Labour should govern. But I think that really we need to be asking Conservatives these questions. It was very, very obvious today in the chamber how few Conservative MPs came to back up the Paymaster General, who had to defend the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister should have been in the chamber answering the questions. He knew the answers, not the Paymaster General. And Conservative MPs talked with their feet, and they weren't there. So, the confidence is draining from this Prime Minister.
Why does it matter?
It matters because we need to have confidence in the government to apply the rules fairly to everyone. It's, we need to get through this pandemic. We're seeing it once more. Huge rise in cases in the last month or so because of Omicron. Rules reintroduced, and people need to stick to the rules. And if they feel that the government themselves don't stick to the rules, there's a question, why is there one rule for the government and another rule for the rest of us? And I feel like that as well. And I'm sure everybody listening at home is asking that same question. Why can't the government follow their own rules? I
suspect, like most MPs, there were constituents of yours who were really suffering during this time, were there?
Well, on the 20th of May, I checked today, 47 people emailed in with issues around COVID or NHS pressures. 47 people on that just one day, 20th of May 2020. And we had hundreds and hundreds of people with a whole range of issues, from not being able to see their loved ones in care homes, not being able to see their loved ones. And we had members of Parliament in the statement who couldn't see their own dying relatives at that time because of the rules. I think it sticks in the claw of so many people who had missed out on whether it was a relative that was ill, whether it was a baby being born. There are a whole range of issues. We had one MP, not a Labour MP, a member of the DUP who were in government with the Conservatives. They propped Theresa May's administration up, crying in the chamber today about his own experience. I think we're getting past the point here where people are willing to accept the excuses of this Prime Minister.
The Palace of Westminster must always be a hive of intrigue and rumour and gossip. Did you and other fellow MPs hear rumours of these parties last year? Or the year before even?
No, absolutely not. I mean, this 20th of May, was only revealed because Dominic Cummings put it in his blog, and then it was, and then ITV got hold of the email. None of us were aware, if Dominic Cummings knows about more parties, he needs to let us know.
He does. He said Carrie Johnson had a celebratory party after he lost his job.
Well, exactly. We need people who worked in Downing Street or work in Downing Street to report all of these to Sue Gray. They need to go through the proper channels.
Do you think Sue Gray will be independent and will be as ferocious as many Tories saying she will be?
All of the experience of colleagues that I know is that Sue Gray is running and is an independent voice, an impartial voice. I think there is some question about the weakness of the ministerial code. So as good a report as Sue Gray undertakes, what action will be taken, because the Prime Minister is the ultimate arbiter of the ministerial code. I think people at home, in their jobs will think, well, I don't get to make, if somebody investigates me, I don't get to make the decision on the investigation. And so they must be a little bit perturbed by how this works.